We did present all 4 sagas over the course of 5 or 6 turns, which is insane. Alright, TonyScapone here. We're going to be playing some Black Saga Storm. It's mostly some standard stuff here. It's the same main deck as always. We've been running the same thing for a number of months now, probably at least 3 or 4, I think even longer. But the sideboard, however, we have changed things up a little bit. We're still playing Surge Node. That has proven to be one of the more effective things that we can be doing against Chalice in a mono-black deck, essentially. I have conceded to playing first Feed the Swarm over third Fatal Push. A total of 3 of this effect right now. We have had 4 oftentimes and would love to enjoy 4. However, I do think some of the other stuff is a little bit more important, and we'll get to that. But I wanted to address the elephant in the room, or the ooze in the room, or the oozes, the exponential ooze in the room. So you'll notice we don't have Shadowspear. And our plan against, this is primarily for Delver, some other fair decks, but mostly Delver, right? It's almost entirely for Delver. Just as Shadowspear almost was. Shadowspear was primarily for Delver and White Initiative. And specifically White Initiative. Because Shadowspear, although it was being brought in and was a big part of our plan against something like Mono Red Stompy, Blood Moon really screwed over Saga, but that matchup was basically impossible, and you just had to, if you had a Saga hand, hope that they didn't have Blood Moon, and as such you were playing Shadowspear. So we're not losing a lot there. But when the meta was not almost entirely, but largely the 2 by far and away most popular decks were Delver and White Initiative, and Shadowspear was just like necessary, certainly in the White Initiative matchup, and is absolutely respectable against Delver. But we want to test and see if, now that White Initiative really isn't much of a factor, we want to test and see if Aeve Progenitor Ooze is a better plan against Delver. We might lose a little bit of points in some of the Initiative decks that are running around now, but generally speaking, those decks aren't nearly as disruptive as they used to be. And so I think they're not going to be nearly as difficult as they used to be, and I don't think Shadowspear is as necessary as it used to be. So if a Progenitor Ooze is more effective against Delver than Shadowspear, then I think it's certainly worth exploring and maybe even solidifying as an option here, right? So it changes the way that we do play against Delver. We used to simply bring in Expedition Map, Needle, and of course the Shadowspear. The problem being Meltdown, right? And the game was almost entirely about discarding Meltdown or just getting wrecked by it, by them either ripping it off the top, brainstorming it away. Sometimes you could, stagger your sagas to play around Meltdown, or don't use your baubles yet and make them use their Meltdown earlier. Or, okay, they brainstormed it on top, but Meltdown's not good right now, and they'll have it in their hand, and we'll get them with the second discard spell. It was this, dance where you're trying to discard their Meltdown. You duress them and they force it, and then you Cabal Therapy and they Meltdown and get it on turn 1, that sort of thing. And Meltdown beats, obviously, Pithing Needle, and usually not Map, but Shadowspear, certainly. All that gets swept up with Meltdown. And Needle, if I'm being honest, is certainly an imperfect plan against Delver. It is best in your opener, and when you're on the play. But if you have to get it with Saga, or just draw it later on in the game, odds are Wasteland has already occurred and maybe already done some damage. Now, on average, it was still useful, still good, and I do think in the event that we're playing Shadowspear, probably still the plan that we should be going with. It was imperfect, as any plan is going to be. Nothing is going to be perfect, but the question is Ooze better? And what I have been doing, there are different ways that you can do it, but what I have been testing is just simply bringing Aeve in and not replacing Ad Nauseam. Just, I think I'm taking out a Cabal Ritual, not playing Pithing Needle. I'm undecided on map. It's probably good. It's probably better than one Cabal Ritual. But, you know, either or, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. I was talking with Thomas Tiupis on Discord about how we wanted to board, and I don't know if it's him or I, but we had been talking about maybe taking Tendrils out and bringing in Ooze, but that comes with its own problems. You really do want the threat of Tendrils to come off of your tutors, and it does make it so that if you draw Burning Wish and lose it, or, you know, I don't like only having one route to Tendrils or one of them in the deck. So I don't recommend that. There's an individual in Discord, fairly new to, I think they had said it was their first paper tournament. It was like 22 people. They got second place with BSS and running Ooze, and they decided to, because they weren't using the sideboard guide, they just wanted to practice to try to, you know, I think that's actually a good move. See what you can do yourself first, and then maybe you see some, you know, you get a feel for it, and then a sideboard guide will probably make more sense rather than just coming in cold. You know, it's like if you're learning to ride a bike, you're probably better off jumping on it, trying to do it yourself, and then getting help afterwards to kind of shore things up. And that's pretty cool. But what this individual was doing was replacing Ad Nauseam and Burning Wish and bringing in Ooze and Peer. So I mean, it's at this point the discussion between Ad Nauseam and Peer into the Abyss against Delver is like the age-old question, right? And I have never taken Ad Nauseam out against Delver because I believe that the faster you go in an Ad Nauseam deck, the more inclined you should be to try to, the more inclined you are to or the more incentivized you are to just trying to go under their damage, right? Trying to cast Ad Nauseam before you've lost your life. Whereas if you're trying to play Peer, it costs 2 more mana, and you're trying to cast this through Dazes and Wastelands and Spell Pierces, and it's setting yourself up for, you know, trying to win when you're at 6 life on turn 5 or 6 or whatever it is. And I think the longer you delay the game, the more difficult it is to play around Meltdown. You want to be precise in your early turns with discard, and then you want to hit them. Whether it be, here are the constructs, kill them now or you're dead, or here's my Ad Nauseam, die. You know, sometimes the games do grind out, and there are times where Peer would be better, and Ad Nauseam is going to fall short. But I do, at least the way I see it at this point, I do believe it is better to keep Ad Nauseam in. Of course, we do have to understand that we now have a 5-drop in our deck. We have to take that into consideration. And maybe that is the compounding factor that makes Ad Nauseam, maybe that tips the scales, it makes it that much worse, to the point where we should be considering bringing into the Peer into the Abyss, at which point you would be taking out the Burning Wish. So it's interesting. You know, when you try different things, initially when you're trying to tune a deck, it's super difficult because there's too many moving pieces, and you move one thing and it moves something else, and it just takes a lot of grinding and figuring things out. But when you get to this point where things are very well tuned and the deck is humming, you can really, when you make a change, you can really hear those differences, you know, to stick with the whole tuning metaphor. If your instrument is otherwise well tuned, if you make one little change and then you strum the strings or hit the keys or whatever instrument you got, you're gonna hear that difference, and you're gonna know whether it's in tune with the rest of the deck. So I do think that pretty quickly we're gonna be able to assess if Aeve is appropriate, and and how to utilize it. But we are still in a testing phase. I have not, nearly as much as when I was first constructing this deck, not been testing as much. I've been brewing a lot and trying to come up with combinations of fun and reasonably competitive alternate Storm and Belcher decks, because I believe maybe at some point we just hit something else. There's so much stuff out there to play with and test, and I intend on continuing to explore that, but this is obviously an ongoing project that, as far as the more serious projects go, or the closer I get to, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 on the serious meter, this is probably number one, because I think the Epic Gamble is still just straight up solved, and there's really nothing that has shook that. Maybe at some point there will, and I'll be right there with it, but this is kind of the number one project as far as competitive stuff goes. So here we are. We're going to test the Aeve. I'm going to keep the Adnaz, or we're just not going to even play against Delver. We'll see what happens. I think I might start bringing map in against them. I don't think I have been, but I think it's good. Just upping your land count, more access to Saga, So I'm not going to be bringing in Needle though. I think I had mentioned I would double back to the whole Fatal Push thing. Yeah, I mean, I think what it really comes down to, because this, whether it's Ooze or Shadowspear or whatever slot, is kind of immovable. If you go right down the line here, right, like these, you need at least 3. Like, that's the minimum, right? I think the ley line and helm package is solid. We need tendrils, we need Pier. We talked about this. The combination of Might and Surge Node, I think, are even in and of themselves are a little bit light on that effect, but we really don't have access to super efficient means for this sort of thing, so to overload on it really is to just add cards that are ultimately not as effective as you'd like. So I think you're missing a lot of value if you do go with multiple Haywire Mites. We played multiple for a long time, and there are issues with the card, but the places that we've figured it out to shine, it shines very hard and has proven to be I think a solid addition. Things that come to mind is having access to a card that cannot be interacted with through counter magic, that can kill a Deafening Silence against the control deck, that is tutorable through. We have 12 tutors for the card. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so low cost to play this against a control deck, and there's just no other card that's going to give that to you. As well as against Reanimator, the graveyard decks being able to shut down Serenity. When you're sitting there with Leyline and Sagas and Saga tokens, you're just waiting to get, your whole board gets swept up by Serenity. And they're playing that card in reasonable numbers, and they're keeping hands based on that, especially the more time that elapses and the more often they're beaten by us with Leyline. We're going to be running into that. So to have access to Haywire Might, that's literally our plan against them. Just to name 2 spots where the card just absolutely shines, where you wouldn't necessarily, when you think Haywire Might, you think, Chalice, Trinisphere, stuff like that, where it's really, it's good against those decks, we bring it in, but you'd be surprised just how often Haywire might fall short, most notably and most often when Chalice on 0 is in play, because sure, we can go get Haywire Might, but then we don't have access to green mana, because we get green mana through Mox Opal or Lotus Petal, and when they're on the play and they put Chalice on 0, we cannot play those cards, so we have to wind up successfully getting Urza Saga to complete fruition twice, unless we have Haywire Might in our hand, and they don't have Chalice on 1. It's a lot of ifs, ands, buts, that sort of thing, so, but the card is still very good, right? And becomes better when it's in combination with a card like Surge Node. So Surge Node can put their Chalice on 0 to 1, and then we can play our zeros, and then we can activate our Haywire Might, that sort of thing. But ultimately, in higher numbers, Might has proven to be not as good as I initially had thought. And actually, initially I played 1 of this card, and then I was so impressed with it, I was like, we should be playing 2 of it. And then eventually realized that the problems that it does have lend itself to not wanting more than 1. So that leaves us with Needle and Map. Now, Map, if you're new to the deck, and probably the most frequent comment of, hey, what the hell is this card about? if you're new to the deck, you tend to look at this and say, what the hell is this card about? And the more you play it, the more there was a point where I just knew the card belonged in the deck, and I kept putting it in the sideboard, and then thinking that other things were more important, and basically putting it off as like the 16th or 17th card, and it's just so good. It's so good. The question I get is who are you playing map against, and when do you bring it in? And I answer the question with a question, right? Or I guess just to answer it bluntly, if you're in a matchup where at the end of Saga all you want is another Saga, then you want map, because it allows your Saga to be double Saga. Not only that, but it's essentially a 5th Saga, so you have more Sagas in your opening hand. Of course, you have to go and spend 3 mana, but it can turn on a Mox Opal and then do its thing. Sometimes it gets City of Traders or Ancient Tomb. It's a very good card. It even comes in the Reanimator matchup. Because usually you want to get Might, but then you just want Sagas. You just want Sagas in that matchup. You just want Leyline, Saga, and ways to activate Saga so that you can get your Haywire Might, so you can prevent Serenity from blowing you out, and you can kill them with Construct tokens. It's very helpful against control decks, because instead of getting a random draw through a bauble, against control deck Saga, its primary use is a distraction, really. We sometimes just kill them with constructs. You discard their swords and kill them before they get their sweeper, whatever it is. But for the most part, it's a distraction so that you can discard their forces, they're not able to shuffle away their swords because they have to use it to kill your constructs, or they have to shuffle Force of Wills away so that they can find their sweeper, or okay, they dress you down. Okay, fine. Well, guess what? It's just one card that made those tokens, and it's getting replaced by, you got it, another Saga. So, so it puts pressure on their hand, their play patterns, almost in the same way that discard does, but in a way that discard can't. Which is, I guess a good way to put it is that discard, and this is just one instance, just to give you kind of like a deep dive on like, hey, here's a spot where this card is just absolutely phenomenal and changes the dynamic of the matchup. Just one single card, because it can be tutored through 4 of your lands that typically aren't really interacted with in these matchups. Sometimes they have some amount of wasteland, but when we talk about the difficulties with and issues of discard, right? One of the more common and understood things at this point is that you can't discard the top of their deck, right? But if you can make them sequence and play in such a way where they are doing things, like I said, shuffling their Force of Wills away, now you are messing with the top of the deck. You're making them select certain cards off the top of their deck. So this, in effect, kind of chases them right into your trap, which is your discard out of their hand. So, and there's more. The card it's very flexible. It seems odd in a Storm deck, I know, but I don't see myself removing it. That only leaves us with Needle, right? And previously, with our plan against Delver with Shadowspear and Needle, that was a large part as to why I was unwilling to cut it. Large part, not entirely, and still might not be enough for me to be willing to cut it. It's very, very efficient at what it does, obviously. It's very good at messing with Breakfast. It's the only card I bring in against Breakfast now. Nothing else. We have plenty of cards in our sideboard that interact against Breakfast, but none of it does so efficiently enough where I've found it to be effective in the matchup. Ley lines, we have to change our deck composition such that we slow down and hinder our own development more than we want to, which would be fine, against something like Reanimator, for instance. That's fine, but not Breakfast. They can sidestep it. They can, plan B against it. It slows them down, but it hurts us more than it hurts them, right? And similarly with Fatal Push and Feed the Swarm, certainly Feed the Swarm, so Fatal Push would be the only way I'd consider it is if I was running 4 Fatal Push, and then even then, the decks that are successfully using removal against Breakfast, that's just part of their way that they're disrupting Breakfast, right? They're they're countering stuff. They have ample and plenty of removal, more than 4. And then they have, you know, various sideboard pieces that they're bringing in to interact with stuff. We're on the whole not really interacting. We're discarding, but it's just not enough. And again, we wind up diluting our deck where really we just want to do our thing. We want to discard them to throw them off balance, and then we just want to kill them as quickly as possible. And when we're bringing in stuff to interact with them, we're just hindering our own development. We are also a very fast combo deck with a bunch of disruption and protection. Just race, basically, is what it comes down to. And sometimes Saga is what it comes down to. You know, discard there and then Saga them before they kill us. But Pithing Needle is just so damn efficient and easy to get, right? And it's still effective in the mid and late game, because if you still happen to be in the mid or even the late game, then yes, shutting down half of their combo is going to be helpful. And if it isn't in a scenario, you don't tutor for it, right? So it's been really good in that matchup. It's just a good card. But if I were to remove something for something else, that would probably be the card. I don't know what for, maybe just the 3rd Fatal Push. That's really what it comes down to. But it's really good against Sneak and Show too, which may have an uptick with that new card. However, it's not nearly as good now that the new card exists. That blue creature that changes the top of your deck, or changes, it becomes the creature that's on top of your deck, effectively giving them access to, you know, one of the problems with that deck is it used to just, you can only run so many sneak attacks and show and tells, and now it has access to another very strong card. So I guess that makes, you know, Needle used to shut down half of them. Now they have to go for show and tell, right? So again, I guess 1 strike for Pithing Needle. But you know what? For science, let's not play it. Let's play another Fatal Push. There is a lot of Collector Roof out there, so let's try this. Let's try it. That's I mean, that's where we stand with this deck, and let's go jam some games. We'll see you in round 1. All right, here we are, round 1 against Jan. We won the die roll, and holy shnikes. I guess we're going for it. We could Thoughtseize first. Let's see. Let's go. Black. Go get Adnaz. Cast said Adnaz. We're in. Honestly, I should have used the LED. It is better to use it in this spot. And they already look pretty dead. Still a Tendrils in the deck. There it is. Down to 1 we go. They could scoop to this Bobble activation. Alright, nice little turn 1. Don't get to see what they're doing. It's pretty low cost to play White. Well, it's only good in so many matchups, huh? Yeah, I don't think I want to change anything. Yeah, Sand is well-rounded. They also kept on 7. Looking like some sort of blue deck, but could be Reanimator. Could be a lot of things. Let's go Swamp. Thoughtseize. Next turn we can go Vault, Wishclaw, Opal, Duress, or Cabal Therapy. Some sort of Grixis control with Caves of Chaos Adventurer. I think we're kind of forced to take the Hymn, which is fine. So the only problem here is they're probably going to force the Wishclaw, and then they can Surgical it. So I think I'm just going to go double discard next turn. Oh, that's fine. I don't have to worry about Surgical. Okay. Don't even necessarily want to draw Thoughtseize. Honda. They're going to wind up with 2 unknowns. Presumably they drew a blue card, otherwise pondering there is a little bit risky. No shuffle. That's a good draw. 5. Yeah, let's go Duress. Brainstorm. Not gonna Brainstorm. Weird. Let's take Brainstorm. Cobalt Therapy. Naming. Force of Will. Pass it over. Play Scrubland. Caves plus 1 unknown. That's a great draw. So we go Wishclaw. Go 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1 Shive Adnaz. pretty close to Pier as well. You can always go Opal, Burning Wish for Pier, in the following turn, find discard, and then Pier. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2 mana shy of that, though. If they play Caves... Oh, snap him? Okay. We want them to hit Burning Wish and Opal. Or Burning Wish Dark Ritual. 2, 4, 5. Oh, yes! So now we just have an Adnaz from 18. We're good to go. Even if we draw Adnaz, I don't care. Oh, that was a good one, too. Ritual, Ritual. They're off it. That was good. Alright, see you in round 2. Okay, round 2 against Hyrule Hero, 312. We won the die roll. I mean, most of the time this is not going to be good enough. I think we're forced to keep this. It's not spectacular. We do get to open on Thoughtseize, and we do get a look with Bauble, so that's nice. Animate Dead, that's one of the matchups that we don't love using Bauble immediately. But at least I know I can play Vault. May as well Duress. There's no spot really where Thoughtseize is better, and there are spots where it's worse. Interesting hand. We know they're going to have Animate Dead, so there's not much use taking Reanimate. Looting is redundant. This is a resilient hand. We just take Unmask so that they can't touch our hand. We take Petal to slow them down. I think I'm taking Petal. Probably going to Unmask us, pitching, I don't know, Animate Dead or Reanimate. One of the two. It's not a great draw. We want to draw Wishclaw. We're not favored this game. We are favored this match, for sure. Post-board, we are heavily favored. They're going to Unmask us, probably take Cabal Therapy, but they're going to cast Looting anyways. They're not even going to loot. That's interesting. I mean, I'm going to Thoughtseize. Just going to take one of the lootings. Put this into play and pass. Here comes looting. No monster, no monster. Come on, no fatties. No fatties. Can't believe this got printed. No fatties. Petal and Marsh Flats. We know they have Animate Dead and Reanimate. At least we got perfect information now. Do I play City? We're drawing 2 cards. If we draw like land plus IT, I'm going to be super sad. Could bobble myself right now. It's kind of risky. I'd like to see what they're drawing. I'm going to play it. Hold on to the bobble. We're drawing a redundant reanimation effect, which is fine. Means they can't do anything. We'll redraw action, mana, Saga. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's okay. Saga's still very good. Alright, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Okay, so they can loot now, which is not good for us. No fatties, no fatties, no fatties, no fatties, no fatties. No fatties, wow. Thoughtseize and Animate Dead are gone. To Duress. Okay, so let's make a thing and Duress them. I do just want them to have fewer cards in their hand, so it makes looting worse. Reanimate's more castable, but pays life. So probably want to take Exhume. Could flashback Cabal Therapy, but I don't think that helps us enough to justify losing our creature. We need to kill them. Come on, no fatties, no fatties, no fatties. They scooped it up! That's crazy. They just couldn't find a monster. That's wild. That's really unlucky for them. Well, now they're in big trouble. This does not get better for them. Not at all. Take Ad Nauseam out. Take some of these low resource cards. Or poor performing with low resources cards out. And bring in our Leyline package, that being Leyline and Helm. Expedition map to keep redundancy for Saga. Haywire Might to deal with Serenity. And Pier, because we don't have Ad Nauseam in our deck, so we don't have to worry about getting hit for a 7. And now we still have another engine alongside a Wincon that is conveniently the same amount of mana as Ad Nauseam. So if Leyline is on the battlefield, we can go for a 5 mana I win. Similar to how Ad Nauseam feels. This hand is great. They keep on 7. Now, even if they don't expect Leylines, they're still going to bring in Serenity, just because our deck is all artifacts. Or they should be, at least, even if they didn't know about Leyline. I'm still going to play Opal, too. Because in the event that they somehow manage to go off, they're going to discard multiple times. It's not like we're going to be holding out for Storm, you know. I guess I'll use Bobble. Show and Tell, okay, that's scary. Turn 2 Show and Tell could be scary. They go like Ritual, Show and Tell. I'm going to Grief Us, Pitching Entomb. That also could hurt. We gotta hope we have another turn and hope that we draw Thoughtseize. Does not look like we're getting another turn. Underground Sea. Oh, Dothy? That's fine. I don't care about that. Petal. LED. Damn, those would have been good with IT. They're still good. Play them out. Swamp. Alright, they have mana for Show and Tell. Yep. Put in Ancient Tomb. They put in G Daddy. We do still have an opportunity to draw either Helm or any of our tutors. That's 10 cards, so 20%. Make a thing. They drew 7. Discard a Reanimate. Draw. Not a tutor. Let's make another thing. Let's get Bobble. Excuse me, let's play Vault. See if they want to trade. Yep, they're going to trade. So they're just going to go off again. Alrighty. Bobble. Reanimate. I don't really care about Serenity here. Yeah, because we get a whole turn cycle. So that's a lot less scary than, like, just Wear Tear and actually blow it up. We could die to it, like, if we just draw shit here. What is this? Hardcast Grief, okay. Any tutor still wins. I guess Burning Wish doesn't anymore. But at least that can kill Serenity. Land, Mana Source. Alright, we're dead. Yeah, they discarded us at the perfect time. We had like 4 or 5 draws that if it just drew action, we would have won, and we didn't. So we were favored like pretty much that whole time. It just didn't pan out. It happens. Game 3. It was a similar thing for them game 1, so this has been a wonky match so far. Just each of us winning a game that we were really unfavored to win. Alright, we will take the play. This hand is interesting, but I don't think good enough. Be fine if we had a ley line, but we don't. It's looking to work towards without a ley line appear and appears in our hand. So no thank you. This is like the same hand, except that at least opens with duress, but no thank you. Alright, this is better. Keep since we have Thoughtseizes, I'm gonna bottom ley line. I know Serenity kills multiple, but if they have Wear Tear, it is actually pretty good to have 2 ley lines out. But I think Thoughtseize will help us there. I'm gonna bottom a land. That's what we have the most of in the deck. And they're probably gonna discard Wishclaw anyways. So let's Thoughtseize them. And either way, they can discard us. So I'll take Grizzlebrand. This makes Show and Tell worse. And if they do blow up Leyline, they don't have a monster and they have to find one or an Entomb. The Catacombs, Petal. Grief us, pitching the Unmask. Sure. But imagine they take Wishclaw. And they did. They have 1 land plus an unknown. That wasn't a bad draw. Do I want to Thoughtseize? If they had Serenity, they would have played it. If they have Wear Tear, they would play it in response. So I think I wait. Draw. Play out the Opal. I'm gonna wait 1 more turn. Cast Thoughtseize. Give them a chance to draw a Show and Tell or a monster. They're drawing lands. Alright. Perfect draw. Let's Thoughtseize now. Nice. Take Grizzlebrand. Now, they have to draw Serenity right now. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective thanks to Haywire Might. It doesn't look like they did. We draw Duress. I think I hold that. Please, no Wear Tear. Alright, no Wear Tear. Let's make a thing. Untap, draw, trigger. Whatever. Make a thing. Alright, yeah, I want to leave my Opal up. Let's get Haywire Might. Duress you. In the event that they remove Leyline, I guess Entomb is the best card. Swing for 5. They need, like, Wear Tear now, so that they can kill Leyline and a Construct. then they need like looting into monster. But they didn't get it, and we got there. Nice. We're 2-0. See you in round 3. Okay, here we are, round 3 against Kostin. We've lost the die roll. We have a hand that is full of mana and 2 redraws. It's very tempting. I think I keep this. Alright, against a blue deck. For better or for worse, it depends on what these baubles come up with. Burning Wish is not bad. Let's get these baubles popping. There's not much reason to use them yet. Brainstorm. 1, 2, 3, presumably 4, 7. We want discard and 2 more mana. Wonder. So Soul Land would be very good. Or even just land plus card to imprint plus discard. I meant to use a bauble on upkeep. That was stupid. I was chatting. Alright, Narset's on top. Opals, that's 1 mana. 2 mana. Discard? Not discard. Ouch. Shuffle and ponder. I am gonna wait. Feels bad. Shuffled away the Narset. Means they already have a Narset. I'm gonna play Teferi, bounce a vault. It's fine. Come on, discard. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. We are short. I mean, I feel like we're gonna have to discard multiple times anyways, so might as well get 1 out there. And kind of have to, well, if they want to slam back to basics, that's fine. Take the Spell Pierce. Their hand kind of sucks. Take up. Land, Jace. Yep. So I think we're in a spot that we just have to trust that Jace doesn't hit force. That's interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't really get threshold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't work. Might as well just go for Pier, right? Yeah, whether I get LED with an IT or just imprint it, it's the same amount of mana. Let's imprint IT. The Opal, Petal, Ball Ritual, LED, full priority, get Pier. I drew a force. Pitching back to basics. Alright, I got it. I suppose if you hold Duress there, then they have to tap out to play Jace, instead of just taking the Spell Pierce. I just figured, I mean, it had been a while. Odds are they had multiple forces. They didn't even have 1, but it was a dicey hand to keep in the first place. So, Aeve is tricky. They're the type of deck that's going to have Terminus. But they, well, yeah, and they'll have sweepers for my constructs. Alright, let's go. Fine. Just discard the crap out of them. Oh, I saw the 1-drops and I was like, oh, please, Cabal Therapy. They're all different. Let's take Brainstorm, Flooded Strand, play Saga, play Cabal Therapy. We're gonna Spell Pierce it. It's fine. And I'm gonna pass. Play Vista, probably gonna play Staff. Yep. We're hoping to draw a land. Perfect. Okay. You can Duress and Cabal Therapy. Use both petals to make a token. Could use 1 petal post Duress. If I know what I'm taking, I should just use Cabal Therapy. But on the off chance they have like Meltdown or something, we'd want to Duress. I'm gonna Duress. Oh man! 2 Teferis. So now I think we're making the other play. Take Ponder. Cabal Therapy. Reveler. Play Petal. Play Petal. Pass. Is it worth 2 petals to make a token? That is the question. Draw a card with Staff. Yep. Brainstorm. It's kind of scary. Vista. 2 cards in hand. Oops. Ponder. I think I make the tokens. You're going to attack. Interesting. I don't know why you would trade any amount of life. Wouldn't you want to chump with that? Like this. I'm going to get, I think just get map. Could get Haywire Might. Cold Therapy doesn't seem all that appealing. Play Opal. Attack for 5. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. Haywire Might would have been pretty good for that. We're still coming in hot here, though. We can't just Cabal Therapy whatever they get. Weird situation. Wind up attacking first. They get Batterskull because I think they realize Cabal Therapy is awkward. Dark Ritual. Not exactly what we were looking for here. Let's get in. I don't even think Batterskull beats this board. Oh, I should have gotten Haywire Might so that I could have flashback Cabal Therapy without getting rid of tokens. I think they have Cauldron in their hand. Batterskull jumps? I'm gonna... Oh no! Shouldn't have passed. This map is supposed to get Saga and play Saga. But when you play Moto, your finger is so trigger happy on hitting one just to okay past things that it's so easy to just have like a fleeting thought that results in hitting the button. Now we just really need a 5/5, so I'm not even going to use map. And we just draw it. Perfect. Perfection. So here's the thing. If they remove one construct and then block, that hurts. So I think we're supposed to wait so that we don't get blown out. Also, like, they're at 2, and we have 2 Cabal Therapies with creatures. Oh, they got a staff trigger. That's annoying. Like, if we draw Tendrils or any tutor, we could just easily win on the spot. We're falling behind a little bit on board. Oh, come on, man. Okay. Energy Flux it is. Is it 2 each? Unbelievable. So, this is going to wind up having to get Haywire Might. We're going to search with map now. That's for sure. Get Saga. Untap. What are we saving? We have 4 mana. We can save 2 things. I think we have to save Opal and Vault. Right? Opal, yes. Construct, no. Do need to tap Opal. Construct, no. Vault, yes. Draw. Saga goes to 2. Play this Saga, pass the turn. Energy Flux, jeez. So now we have 2 artifacts, and we have 4 mana, so we can save both of them. Get Haywire Might, then we don't have green, so I gotta use Dark Ritual. I'm gonna use these rituals to make tokens and pay for my artifacts. Oh, what a pain in the butt. They have 4 cards. What was that? Saga's down. Disenchant? Actual factual. Oh, God. So, we play ritual. Pay for opal. Yep, go like this. Pay for vault. Draw. Vault. Interesting. Play vault. Gives us a 4/4 blocker. It is funny that they have to pay for Batterskull. They're getting in. Gonna say might be ill-advised. They probably shouldn't attack at all, right? And their Batterskull is super awkward. Could attack with the flyer. I don't know why. What just happened? Just like moved my land. Alright. Probably shouldn't even make a thing because it's just gonna die anyways. I guess it maintains Metalcraft. Okay, what do we want to do? We can make 3, 4, 5. We need 1 for Haywire Might, 2 to make a token. Or we can just make a token. 3. Alright, the construct we're not going to pay for. Too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ritual. Pay for this vault. Gotta pay for the opal. And then we don't pay for this vault. Can't make a token. No, we gotta make a token. Oh, we should have made one there. So now we're losing Metalcraft. Shit. Messed up. I messed it up. Now it gets Haywire Might. I guess we thought Seize. We're pretty much 100% dead. Like, we kind of have to kill Batterskull at the same time we gotta kill Energy Flux. We have, like, no way to kill them either. Gain 2, start getting attacked for 2. Batterskull's gone, they don't have to pay for it. We would have to sacrifice Opal and just sit here paying for Vault. And their hand is pretty good. Yeah, this game's over. Got him down to 1. and lost. I did not play well that round either, but it's okay. See you in the next. Okay, here we are in round 4. We're 2-1. We have a very well-rounded hand. Or not very, but it's okay. I will lead on Swamp. We'll go Duress. Nice. I was going to say, we might be able to double up on a Cabal Therapy here. So we can take Spell Pierce and then double hit Ponder, or we can take Sylvan. They don't have a green source. Yeah, I'll take Spell Pierce and Ponder. It is a 2 for 2, so it's not like spectacular, you know what I mean? But our hand is well suited to spew a Lotus Petal. So I think we're doing okay. We don't want them to find a green source. We know they don't have Force, they could have Spell Pierce. But it's really nice that we get to put this one into play. Hopefully we draw land. Or at least like Chrome Mox. Tundra. No green source. Dodged it at least for a turn. We get the Chrome Mox we asked for. Definitely not a bad pull. Couldn't bring themselves to Spell Pierce a Chrome Mox. No, we don't know that they have Spell Pierce. I was just saying they paused on the Chrome Mox. Oh, green source. Here comes Sylvan. Go to the end step. Make a thing. Draw. IT, huh? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could Cabal Therapy into Adnaz, or we can just go a Construct route. The problem is Spell Pierce. So they have Loam plus 2 unknown. They have Force plus blue card. Or Trouble if we name Spell Pierce. But if you're running Spell Pierce, you're probably running... I've seen up to 4. Everyone's running Spell Pierce right now. But I think I want to try to go now and try to beat this Sylvan. I guess I can attack first. If I activate Wish Claw, so I'm getting LED anyways, might as well get in. It makes this more all-in. I guess it gives them an opportunity to counter that if they wanted to. Or if they have a swords, but I feel like they would have used it just to take us off of Cabal Therapy. I'm going to name Force. I think if they had Spell Pierce, they would have hit my LED. I think that was a mistake to even play that. They did have one. No blue card to go with it. Oops, they have a Tundra. Let's go get Adnaz from 20 from downtown. Alright, get some mana. Give me some zeros. There they are. Thank you, deck. Alrighty. What about LED? Where are you at? Chrome Mox is good. I think we have enough. There's LED. Jeez. It's a lot of cards. 36 cards in hand. That is just insane. Insane in the membrane. You know I'm going to take that loan. You know it. Let's play these opals. Play some more opals. Bobble. What'd you have next? Swords. That would not have helped. Play land. Bobble. So many cards. Holy crap. Ritual. Play some baubles out. Play Chrome Mox. Imprint. Just gotta play all the zeros, you know? You gotta. Get the tendies. 23 drills of agony. Get 'em. Alright. So game 1, a little revenge on control. Let's play the Might. Let's play the map. And they didn't look like a back to basics blue-white like we just played against. So Aeve might be reasonable. Gotta remember it's in the deck. And let's go. Can't forget, if we go for Adnaz, that Aeve is in the deck. Okay. Yeah, I can keep. I'd really like to draw a permanent black source, preferably opal. But this hand is fine. That was probably the worst draw in the deck. Like, real bad. Saga. I probably have Spell Pierce. Let's go right ahead and play Bauble. Do our best to draw into a mana source. Preferably Chrome Mox, Opal, Ancient Tomb, City. Ancient Tomb would be better than City. Opal still best draw. That does hang our LED out there to get Prismatic Endinged. Prismatic Endinged. Classic. Okay, Vault is... I would have rather had that last turn, but I'll take it. I don't know if I want to start spewing to make tokens. I might. So let's go Petal. Vault. Ritual, but they're probably going to counter this. A bit unfortunate. Misstep, okay. You got it. Narset, that's fine. No biggie. Deafening Silence, that's a biggie. Definitely a biggie. We can discard it, make a token, get Opal. Yeah, let's do that. Get Mox Opal, another Saga, play a Bobble. We get a draw with Bobble, activate it on our turn. Snappy on top, take your Deafening Silence. Dress Down's obnoxious. We have to take this. This is looking a little bit dicey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snappy on top, Deafening, Tundra. So, what is their plan here? What is our plan here, right? Like, we gotta draw Tutor. That misstep was pretty brutal. But at least it was a duress, basically. Ending, that stinks. Yep. Takes us off of Metalcraft. Oop, it's back on. They have a lot of problematic cards. This is definitely exemplifying the issue with discard at times. They're gonna snap misstep. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could just go nuts here. Dress Down kind of foils that, though. So that stops our constructs. 5, 6, 7. We can put them to 4. I think we are pretty much dead. Yes, Ponder. I guess we could have held resources to try to make this Tendrils work. Just not cast anything. Yeah, maybe we should have done that. I'm not going to make a token. I'll make one now just because I don't really have something better. At least it'll make him use it. Yeah, I just want map. But, okay, you can dress down me, but at least I have another one coming. Nope, they're just going to hold it. They can Jace unsummon it. There's Jace. Bounce a Rooney or what? Nope. They're going to Brainstorm. So this is a chance to draw a Tutor and go for the kill. We did not. We're going to hold that. Going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going to attack my opponent. Yep. Figured they'd be jumping either way, but I did want to make the right call. Attacking them was potentially lethal. Probably lethal. Alright, let's go get another Saga. This Jace is probably going to bury us. Okay. I'm going to bounce it. Holding this dress down. Panda. Green. Uro. Okay. That makes Tendrils worse. We just haven't seen a tutor. It's turn 7. Right? We have just not even one? Not even one. No worries. Hey, there it is. We're at 20 though. Ugh. Like if we ritual, IT, copy Thoughtseize, Thoughtseize, maybe they start responding. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Need them to cast 3 spells? It's a lot. I think we're supposed to just Thoughtseize. Hope they only have one truly interactive spell. Then get them. Get them with Adnaz. Casting Brainstorm. That's good for us. Do we have enough to Tendrils into IT Burning Wish Tendrils? I think we... 3, 4, 5. 4, no, we're 1 shy. 3, 4, 5. Yep. We have 5 mana up front. We Tendrils. We would have 1 left not able to cast IT, but we do have the 6 to get Burning Wish into Tendrils. It's a close one. Alright, they do have Double Force, as expected. Prismatic Ending, they hid the dress down. Could cast all this stuff, Tendrils them, and then next turn I'll have IT. Take Force Negation. I'm just going to pass, hope we draw more discard. They're going to be Jacing. The question of does it get better? It could. Oh, they're going to Jace plus us? Feels like a weird play. They don't know what I need. I guess if it's discard, they're going to bottom it, but otherwise, like, they don't know. Of course, they changed the wording, so you just don't know what they did with it. I think it's like if they... I think if it says nothing, they left it. Right, I'm not going to blow Petal, so they have Dress Down. Haywire Might. Just gotta bobble. Bobble them now. And mentor incoming. That's fine. Alright, Dress Down has been used. We draw another Saga. Saga number 3. Mentor's in the house. Stony Silence. Well, that's gonna close out game 2. We'll go to 3. Now that we've seen Stony Silence, do we want to try to go faster? I think I'm still okay with Aeve. Saw Deafening Silence, so Haywire Might's good. There's nothing we can really do about Stony Silence except discard it. I think I just run it back. Right, this hand works. It's another no tutor hand. Hopefully we don't go, what was it, 8 turns, 9 turns, 7 turns, something like that, without a tutor. It was like 20-something cards into the deck. Yeah, I think it's worth going turn 1 Saga. That will make it so that we have to take like Prismatic Ending. But I'm fine with that. They have Wasteland. Really? The F, man. Ugh. This is gross. I'm gonna take Force of Will. Play Saga. Make him waste it. Wow. Play Tundra. That is surprising. Another Saga? It's pretty good. Let's play Swamp. Yeah, I don't need to bobble now. You'd like make a construct and then use bobble, but they're not playing Narset yet, so now they play Wasteland. What, now you're gonna Prismatic Ending? Or not. It's bobble. Pierce is fine. Draw. And draw. Lots of Saga. It's not bad. Get in for 3. Alright, we're in there. Nice Spell Pierce, though. Alright, incoming Dress Down. Wish Claw is good. Let's go Saga. Wish Claw. If they go Spell Pierce, I'm gonna Ritual, pay for it, and make a token. Just gonna straight up force it. Pitching Snapcaster. It's a good call, because we do have Aeve. Do I want to try to get in for extra damage now? I think I'd rather play around Dress Down a little bit. Take 3. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end step this Dark Ritual. We don't have a shortage of mana. We got LEDs popping off. They might Spell Pierce it, but that's fine too. They did not. Okay. Dress is pretty good. Let that one go. Make a thing. Let's get... We only have 1 Saga left in the deck. Let's get map. Play out this Opal. Gonna Spell Pierce the Opal. Okay. It's fine. Put you to 1. Can't use their fetch. I think they're dead. Alright, sometimes the constructs just get through. And because they're not going to mulligan these like hyper Force of Will, Spell Pierce hands, and they even had a Wasteland for Saga. I don't know why they let that Saga make a token though, the first one. We did present all 4 Sagas over the course of 5 or 6 turns, which is insane. We also presented what would be basically lethal with Wish Claw, so you're packing a punch. Alright, we're 3-1. I'll see you in the final round. Okay, here we are. Final round against Mateus Hardstyle, or Matthias, whatever. We have a decent hand. Okay, 2 mana away from Ad Nauseam. We just really don't want to draw Tendrils. If we Thoughtseize and we see something we really want to take with Cabal Therapy, we can. They did mulligan to 6, so discard is instantly better. But with this Burning Wish, we're pretty much on a mulligan as well. Okay. This is possibly the worst matchup possible. But at least they had a discardable hand. There's not really that much else we can do to it, though. Even if we wanted to. Now it's like any card that would have been... Oh, man, they played City, too, so... Or no, that's... Yeah, we knew about that. Okay, so... Perfect information. They have a threat. If we can draw some mana, we're fine. Alright, we're 1 away. Let's play Opal. Is there any reason to discard Fury? I don't think so. I think we're just grabbing Burning Wish, or casting Burning Wish for maybe even just Tendrils. Feed the Swarm is meh. I mean, so is Tendrils, but say we draw like a Soul Land, we can go Cabal Therapy Tendrils. Might keep us afloat. Whereas like Feed the Swarming the Legion, or the War Boss is like the same thing as just taking damage from it. But I think more so the situation is just going to be, as long as they don't have a lock piece, they don't. Okay, it's just going to be, we take a bunch of damage right now, we probably draw mana, and we get a Adnaz from a low life total. That's the most likely scenario here. 2, 4, 6, 7, so we go to 10. Hopefully an LED. Chromox does it. We gotta get there from 10, though. IT. Don't have to tap that, but I'm gonna. Okay, so we had a tutor. Not the greatest start, but we do kind of need one of those, so. Land drop's fine. Pedal's good. Wall Ritual's good. Well, therapy. Dark Ritual. Is that enough? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. It's enough mana. Storm is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 2 storm shy, so even 2 baubles would do it at this point. Tendrils kills us. Saga, Ritual, okay. Does that mean that we can... I think that means we can tutor chain once. Right? Land drop is 1, 2, 5, 7, 9 mana. 6 mana after activation. IT, 4 mana, Tendrils. Storm is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Could even just cast Cabal Therapy, actually, instead of tutor chaining, but either way, we got him. Only needed 7 life to do it. Wall Ritual, Wishclaw, Fury. No, just Fury. Jeez. Got him. Go get Tendrils. Alright, that was close. Very close. You really need to win game 1, because odds of winning game 2 against them on the draw is probably like 10, 15%, something like that. And then game 3 is difficult as well. Pretty much need a turn 1 or like discard into turn 2 and have discard be actually effective. So we want Haywire Might. I don't know about Aeve. Push or feed. I mean, it's okay against Magus. Feed is good because it kills Magus and Blood Moon. So I like that. Surge Node is for Chalice. And Cabal Therapy's not great. And just remove a 0. I'm gonna go with this. Yeah. Sand has potential. If they have some medium-ass hand that they have to mulligan to, like this, mulligan to 5, where they have like Chalice on 0, can you beat it? We can. We can, in fact, beat it. There it is. Play Chromox. I dare you. Chalice on 1 as well? Don't do that. Oh, Rabble. Okay, so they are empty now. So we have to go Surge Node. Okay, so I think we're actually favored here. Let's play Vault. Oh no, I was supposed to play Saga, because that's my red source. That's okay. We can go for a rather large ad nauseum turn instead. It's going to take us 2 turn cycles, though. Unless we draw Dark Ritual. This might be a Pier situation. That was not a good draw. Yep. Yeah, I screwed up. We could have a Saga on 2 right now. We would have wound up with the Opal needed for Burning Wish, and we could have Piered. So now we gotta hope that we draw a Petal or Opal. Or that Ad Nauseam gets us there from super low life. 8 from 5 life. Let's put a counter on that. Untap. The rest is not good. Let's play Swamp. Do you have a blocker now? We'd still take 3, go to 2. That's fine, though. Can't duress. Oh no, we'd go to 1. Shit. That means we gotta try for Ad Nauseam right now. Unless, if we go to 1, if we hold these LEDs, we trade with this, we take 4, we go to 1, then we can play like LED tendrils to gain some more life, and then we can Burning Wish. I think I like this. I don't love it, but I think it's better than Ad Nauseam from 5 with a Chalice on 1. That's not good. Okay. Not doing anything, so that's good. Like if they played another Rabble, something that made a Goblin, you're in trouble. Block. Go to 1. Draw. Tap. Could get Haywire Might. But then we don't have red for Burning Wish. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we go Duress is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can Tendrils go up to 9, take another hit, then Burning Wish. Yeah, that's the plan. Definitely the plan. So there's Opal. Here's Vault. Here's LED. Here's LED. Yeah, I was trying to think if we missed like a lethal line with Haywire Might, but that is not the case. Well, no, yeah, because we can't Burning Wish. I was gonna say because you gain life and then we'd be able to peer, but if we got Haywire Might, we wouldn't have red for Burning Wish. So let's use the dress, get wrecked, and then Tendrils, pass. As long as we wind up with at least 2 life and they don't play some sort of really damaging lock piece, I think we got there. Uh-oh. A Fiery Confluence, I'm gonna lose it. They are. Are you kidding me? Ugh. Alright, game 3. That's frustrating, man. Every single card in their deck is just insane. Just insane. Do we want anything different? I don't think so. Let's go. Give me a turn 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not enough. This hand is not good enough. This is, in fact, a turn 1. Keep bottom. We can either bottom Saga. If we bottom Saga, we're using Ancient Tomb. We get 1 more mana and 2 less life. Bottom Ancient Tomb. We have no mana floating, but we're at 20. I think I value the extra mana. Yep. Don't care about that. LED, LED, black, black. Go get Adnaz, cast Adnaz. Bobble, Opal, good start. It's getting a little bit dicey. Ritual's good, Petal's good, Bobble's good. Ball Ritual's just +1, but it's fine. IT, Thoughtseize, Feed. No Lion's Eye Diamond, so we have to win through Wishclaw, of which we have not flipped. Huh. We could keep this and pass, right? We could, like, play Haywire Might, blow up Wishclaw, cash in all these baubles, and discard them a bunch. If we Ritual, we can Duress, Thoughtseize. I think I just want to go, though. Kept on 7. We can always rip something off the top. And we're not even, like, super likely to kill them next turn. I'm gonna flip. Flip. Thoughtseize. Not good. Not good. Now for flipping, we're basically just trying to hit a Lion's Eye Diamond, which is very risky now that we're at 2. Not gonna repeat this. I'm gonna play out Baubles and Petals. Or Opal. Let's start with Duress. Okay, do we have a Cabal Therapy? We do not. We have 2 more Duresses, though. They have no red source. They have a Magus they don't care about. So we can take Chalice, Trinisphere, Ritual, Duress, Trinisphere, Duress, Trinisphere, play Haywire Might, Bluff Wishclaw. We don't even get to gain life because of Leyline? That sucks. Go to clean up. Yep. So let's keep Tutor. City's a good land. Need a basic. Um, Ritual. We're at 2, so Thoughtseize is pretty useless. Same thing with Swarm. Basically just keeping lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Rabble. Sure. After Rabble is War Boss. So they got nothing. Hopefully we got something here. LEDs. Saga is good. Wishclaw is fine. Surge Node is whatever. Let's go Saga. Wishclaw. Surge Node. Your turn. Opal's good. There's no way for them to cast Confluence. You can't peer them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 here. We're 1 shy. IT can't really effectively copy anything. Well, I guess if Wishclaw If Wishclaw gets LED, then we can copy it and we can peer. We have Burning Wish. Peer's only gonna draw 13 cards though. Peer's not even guaranteed to win. Alright, so I'm gonna play my artifact land. We have another Cabal Ritual. We do. Make a token. Lose a petal to get a Cabal Ritual. Not worth it. Okay. We're low on time, but this is a lot of cards. A lot of stuff to think about here. Okay, so I have a threat. Oh, they're playing Magus. That's fine. Interesting. We lose one, but then we get one from here. We can't get our LED. We have to get it through Wishclaw. Okay. And perfect draw. Let's go Swamp. Let's go Cabal Ritual. I should have attacked first. Copy. Lines of Diamond. Play Lines of Diamond. Play Lines of Diamond. Do we need this 1 mana? Let's attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11. They block. We have Tendrils in the deck. We also have Burning Wish, so we can do both. Both means 2, 4, that's 6. Activation is 7. Burning Wish is 9. Tendrils is 13. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Even with this, that's 1 shy. There it's 17. So we gotta, I'm gonna peer. 1, 2, 2, 4. I kind of need this LED. 2, 4, 11. 2, 3, 4. 6 is 10, 11. I have enough for that. You know what? I'm not going to attack. Let's make red. Let's cast Opal. I think we just have a tutor chain. I should have thought of that first. Right? Yeah, we can just tutor chain. Let's get another Infernal Tutor. Let's go Wishclaw, gets Dark Ritual. Cast Dark Ritual. Cast Infernal Tutor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can even Burning Wish. Makes red. Go get Tendrils. Sorry, you're probably screaming at your screen right now. It's super late for me. All the excuses. Accept them, please. Alright, we 4-1'd. We 4-1'd. God, there was so many cards. That broke my brain in half. It's one of those things where, like, I don't know. Like, I was trying to figure out Peer or if we could double Tendrils, and I just hadn't gotten to the thought process of, do we have enough to just tutor chain? But we certainly did. That was scrappy AF. We beat Red Prison, which is arguably our worst matchup. I think it's like our actual worst matchup because they have all the lock pieces, which is difficult enough as is, right? And one of our best tools against prison decks is Saga, but they play Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon. So they leave us kind of nowhere to go. But there are holes where they can't always cover every base, and if your hand happens to be able to lean into that pocket that they're weak for, then we can just kind of get in. One of those pockets being when we're on the play, we can turn one them, right? Which is what we did. But that was crazy because we couldn't kill them and we had to pass the turn and Haywire Might them, and Pier wasn't even necessarily GG because it's only drawing 13 cards at that point. We're low life total. We had to Tendrils them. That game too was crazy too. Oh, they had the Confluence. So I don't know if obviously the auto editing will cut it down a lot, but you notice I went to like 2.5 minutes on the clock there, and my opponent had like, 20 or whatever, because all they're doing is slamming Chalice and saying, "Can you beat it?" So if my opponent's watching this, I apologize for, arguably slow play. This would have been a rather difficult match in paper. But hey, I hope you enjoyed the league. I certainly enjoyed playing. We didn't get to Ooze. We played against Delver once. Didn't get an opportunity to Ooze. We did get an opportunity to use Surge Node, and came very close to winning that game as a result of it, but it does show how it is very good against Chalice, and it's the best thing that you can be doing against Chalice when you're in a mono color that can't deal with artifacts, which is certainly the case with mono black, and certainly the case against Prison, so I'm loving Surge Node. I haven't yet missed Pithing Needle. I think now that our plan against Delver, like without Ooze, I think you want Needle, but it's not entirely obvious. Like I can see getting rid of it. Um, I don't. I mean, I could revisit Slaughter Pact. Obviously, costing 0 is good for ad nauseum, but the reason I came off of it was actually in the previous ban era against White Initiative, because it was actually just to the point where it pretty much could never kill anything because Chalice on 0 was the big problem. At the same time, at that point, I hadn't yet played Surge Node, so it's tough to tell. It's possible we should be running Slaughter Pact. 1 pack, 2 push, 1 feed. I really like push. I like that we don't have the, you lose the game clause. We can usually get a basic swamp for it, or just, for Collector, just holding up a black that we can float when they play it. But I like that it's versatile enough, so like matchups like Bant, No Show, or the Natural Order decks, you can just kill like a Mana Dork. It's an option if you have multiple Fatal Push. But there's something to be said about Pact. The fact that you don't need a basic swamp because it doesn't cost anything to kill Collect Roof. The fact that you can tutor something that costs 1 less, so it changes potential lines when you're counting up mana. It doesn't deal you damage for Adnaz, which is big. It's Free Storm, potentially. Against Painter, push is very good, and I bring them in alongside feed. However, Pact is often dead against them because they'll name black. So there's pros and cons to the card, but when you're playing it and you're playing a split, it's a little bit random when you actually draw it, which is a bit awkward. We do, of course, have tutors that occasionally are in the conversation in terms of the card, so it does, on a lot of accounts, make sense to play it as a 1 of. I wouldn't like it as a 2 of and then 1 push, but ultimately it brings us down to 2 push, and I don't like having 2 push. So, I don't know. I'm not entirely comfortable playing Slaughter Pact, but I should probably revisit it because I haven't since the White Initiative era. Other than that, I mean, the league kind of went par for the course. Our loss to Delver, Delver always looks like either a joke, or no, I don't want to say that. You never know what's going to happen, right? Sometimes you play them and Delver looks like a joke. You discard them and then kill them. Or you play Saga and they don't have Wasteland. Or they have a Wasteland but you have 2 Sagas and they don't have 2 Wastelands, right? Or they have too much counter magic and they played a threat turn 1 and they kill you. Or your ad nauseum whiffs. Or, like we saw, we had them beat with Saga and they didn't have Wasteland quick enough, but then just had their 1 of Petty Theft and their 1 to 2 of, I'm blanking on it, but the 1 red spell that can deal 6 if they have Delirium. And they had both of those things. It was insane. And then drew into the Wasteland before my second Saga popped off with Construct. So that was an uncommon situation. I'll put it that way. But yeah, we have the tools to beat them, but they also have the tools to beat us, and quite frankly, it's just good magic. It's kind of how Storm and Delver tend to play out, unless you're really gearing your deck to beat Delver. I think this style is more so, it's just a really good game of Magic. I do think we're favored. Overall, I think we're favored. We're definitely above 50%, probably close to 60%. But it's not like the Epic Gamble, which really crushes it, or the Epic Storm, which also really crushes it. But this deck picks up all sorts of points that those decks can't. So it's nice to have options in Storm, right? Like, we're extremely good against Reanimator. It's one of our best matchups, and Reanimator is on the rise, so I do think this is a very good choice for a Storm deck in this climate. There's generally less Delver, which is a good thing because you don't want a high percentage of the field to be 60% matchups, right? Or even 55 or whatever it may be. So I don't know. I love this deck. I think it's in a good position. It is well tuned. We're, playing with a couple of sideboard options, which, I mean, with a ebb and flow meta, that's a good place. That's basically where you want to be in a Storm deck, just kind of toying with and playing with a few sideboard things to appropriately present, uh, deliberate material in a ever-changing meta, I guess is a way to put it, right? So I'm going to stop blabbering about Black Saga Storm and close it up. So hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.